All right, and welcome to the next episode here of Phoenix Rising Live. So great to be here with all of you once again. And this episode here is all about exploration, exploring our beliefs and particularly our negative beliefs, because there's not really a lot of exploration necessary for positive beliefs, because in the nature that positive beliefs are constructed, they naturally grant us a greater sense of freedom and prosperity and abundance of all kinds in our lives. So there's really not a lot of exploration required. And in fact, it's the positive belief systems, if you will, if you wish to call them that, that are most natural for us to experience in this physical reality. It's the negative beliefs that cause the seeming blocks or resistance to experiencing the positive side. And so that's why the observation of negative beliefs is what empowers us to access the positive beliefs. So it's not a matter of installing new programming, installing positive programming, or installing positive beliefs. It's nothing like that. That's simply not how it works. And a lot of the information out there in the books, which again, remember, when you're reading books, for the most part, it's just marketing so that people can gain greater access to you through their programs and email lists and things of that nature. So using a great level of discernment when you're navigating the various information out there about human psychology, about this human life experience, where is it coming from? What's the intention behind it being written? And it's all at its basis meant to help people. But even in someone having the positive intention to help someone, if they have their own negative filters on top of that are feeding through into what they're producing, then that's obviously not going to be the purest form of information. And we've dealt with that for thousands of years. And, taking a look at the Bible, for instance, not from a religious standpoint, but from a simple fact that it's information that's been written down, hearsay, over thousands of years. Can that really be relied upon in its fullest extent? Or does it require a level of discernment in order to navigate through the words, right? Just because it says something in a book doesn't mean it's true. So, for whatever reason, we've been conditioned to believe things in writing are set in stone when that's clearly not the case. And we've also been conditioned to believe that when people in a place of authority say something, that it's to be taken as the gospel. And again, that's not really ever the case. So your only GPS, your only map is internal, and using your own discernment. Of course, you have to release enough of your own negative perceptions to get to that. And that's what's happening right now over this past year with this COVID experience of exploration into the negative belief systems that we have collectively on this planet. So this is an essential skill set for every human being to have in some way, shape, or form, in whatever way is most relevant for them. If you're watching this, it's extraordinarily relevant for you at the deepest core level possible, because otherwise, what is the point? Why are you watching this? Why are you part of this community that is either the Quantum Elite community or the Phoenix Rising United or any nature of personal transformation in any regard? Why are you doing it if you're not willing to go to the deepest level possible? And up until this point, you've been able to access a certain level of depth, but you have yet to access the consciousness to take you all the way. That's the journey. That's what we're all on. That's the path we're creating for ourselves. So let's discuss the idea of what is a belief, how to access it, and provide some next steps to really let them go, release them, navigate your way through them to the positive side, from the yin to the yang, or the yang to the yin, or whatever, whichever one's lighter, go there, because it's in the lightness that you observe more of the darkness, but you don't have to commit to it. You don't have to embrace it in the sense that you're not aligning with it. You're not becoming a vibrational match to it. You're simply recognizing, hey, that's an option, but it's not something I have to participate in. once you have deconstructed the beliefs that allow you to detach from those types of vibrations that you may be observing in your life, that is total freedom and really the beginning of living in heaven, because once you recognize nothing can affect you other than your own decisions, what more do you need than that? Obviously, there's more to explore after that. There's always more to explore, and there's higher and higher levels of freedom to attain, so to speak. However, that's really where life becomes magical, is when you recognize it's not about the outside world. It's about your own decisions and choices. So you think about the idea of a belief, it takes a lot of energy to maintain a belief. So the reason why illness exists, the reason why breakdowns exist, the reason why resistance exists, and any other form of negativity is because these negative beliefs that we're holding on to require a lot of energetic suppression. And it's obviously subconscious because it's in the belief, it's in the subconscious mind, if you will. So you may not recognize that you're hanging on to these things. You may just be in a lower energy state all the time and wonder why, and think it has to do with health or food or EMFs or all this stuff. And it's not to say those things can't have an effect or influence, but to say they're the cause, now you're just a victim. And, that might sound quite direct or blunt, and some people may not want to hear it in that way, but from my perception and my life experience, that's simply how it is. And what I've learned, that's simply how it is. So there's no point in beating around the bush. What do you want? Full empowerment? Or do you want to feel that you're at the effect of the external environment? Which do you prefer? So as you navigate your beliefs, it's not the thoughts you tell yourself. No, that's what the gurus in the books say about affirmations and things of that nature. Auto-suggestion, things of that nature. Can that be a permission slip to access your beliefs? Of course it can. Is it the most efficient? Not necessarily. What is the most efficient is to get in touch with the true definitions, the true beliefs about how you view something. So for example, if you take a topic and just say it's money, something that will have a trigger for you, write that at the top of a page. And then if you write out all of the subsequent thoughts you have about money, 10 or 20, you probably have dozens, if not hundreds about it. Some of them likely very similar, but it probably boils down to a few that are more or less the same, perhaps just expressed in different ways. So you write those down and you just recognize these are my thoughts about money. These are my beliefs about money. These are my viewpoints on money. Don't filter it. Don't change it. Right? If you think about money, it's like it's hard to get, or there's not enough in the world, or only the rich are entitled to have more money. Whatever, if those are your beliefs, or money is a form of energy. Money is a part of this life experience. Money is a form of abundance. Maybe you have both positive and negative beliefs in there currently that are operating and running. So you look at that. And so typical self-development will say, well, just turn those beliefs around, turn those thoughts around. So turn that negative into a positive. And it's like, okay, that's a permission slip. You could do it that way. And if you're inspired to explore that, then explore that. But for me, and this is mission critical, this is really important. And to me, it's really what separates advanced spiritual development from beginner spiritual development, is the willingness to explore the beliefs. Why the distinction? Because as humans in general, we don't like uncomfortable feelings. We want to feel comfortable. That's kind of the basis of the whole industry, is people are comfortable and it provokes them to get out of their comfort zone in order to grow. The whole basis of the personal development industry. But think about it. What does that mean? What's the process you have to go along for? Have people been manipulated in order to get out of their comfort zone in a way that's not in their necessarily highest interest? Of course, that's human nature because we're carrying negative definitions collectively. However, you have the opportunity to get in touch with the purest source of why you believe what you believe and how to set yourself free. So how do you do that? Well, when you take a look at that piece of paper and you recognize these are my beliefs, right? Being honest with yourself. You have to be honest. It starts with honesty. This is what I believe. Rather than looking to reverse those, look at, why do you believe those? Why do you believe that those are true? Why do you believe those ideas are true? Now, if you're looking at the positive ones, that's pretty easy. Why do you believe that money is a form of energy? Well, everything is energy. Everything's coming from consciousness. So money must be a form of consciousness. That's a fact. That just makes sense. All right. Money is a form of abundance. Why is money a form of abundance? Well, abundance is here to provide the resources we need to grow on our spiritual path. And money's obviously a part of that process. So that's, now rather than even being a belief, you're more getting in touch with a reality of what a thing is, a fact. Because the beliefs are not necessary for the journey. The beliefs are what we're letting go of. The more we let go of the negative beliefs, the more we just see reality as a fact for what it actually is versus our perceptions of it. But money is the root of all evil, which is, a classic one. That would be a belief. How would money be the root of all evil? I mean, what's the word evil even mean? It's just the word live backwards. So evil's just the opposite of living. So evil's just a form of negativity and resistance to life. So you can see how backwards that statement is. Money is the root of all evil. If you reverse evil, you get live. Money's the root of all living, of all life. Well, that's not necessarily true either, because it's just a form of energy. It's a part of here. But if you look at energy, if you look at money as a currency, and you say, wait a sec, current, the energetic current is the root of all life, then you're like, well, wait a second. There's something to this, because that's true. Source power is the current of all life. So if you dissect this statement from a positive perspective, and this is a true perspective, everything I said is just true. Source power's running our lives. That's not a belief. How are you here? So the idea here, source power is the root of all life. Oh, that's a true fact. So money's the root of all evil. Well, that's just a misconception. See how easy that is to deconstruct these things? So when you look at them, you realize, why do I believe what I believe? And then you can really dig into it. Now, there might be ones that you're more charged on. And so there's multiple layers of negative definitions and beliefs, which can make it seemingly more challenging to navigate. That's why I host the Phoenix Rising Masterclass, because we create an environment of transformation, an environment of energy, an environment of consciousness where it's easy to dissect your beliefs and disassemble them. That's the journey. That's what we're doing here. So, for example, last night at the Quantum Goal Activation class, the evening class, there were a few participants that had the courage to participate one-on-one with me and enter the love seat coaching. Love seat meaning they're being coached with love, and they're not under fire necessarily. They might feel uncomfortable emotions or emotions arise within themselves that we're not aware of, but for the most part, it's done in a very gentle way. That's my process. That's how I operate, because it doesn't need to be hard. It's supportive. It's a place of safety. So we had some really amazing experiences from those people where they had recognitions of what they were believing wasn't true, even though it felt so real. And that's the thing. That's why people say, hey, that aren't on this more advanced path, they'll say, hey, if you focus on something, you'll get more of it. No. If you continue aligning with that vibration, yes, of course you'll get more of it, because you're permitting it. But you have to understand the distinctions here. That's not what the nature of exploring a negative belief is. You're not aligning with the negative belief. You're exploring it. You're observing it. You're going into it, to the core belief. So you're not going to get more of it. But that negative belief, the way it's designed, is to perpetuate itself. So you will feel more intense as you explore. You will feel that feeling more, thus perpetuating the experience that you're getting more of it. So hopefully you're following the distinction here. As long as you're not matching its vibration, you're not going to perpetuate it. But the belief will give the experience that it's being perpetuated. It'll grow so intense so that you don't look at it And that's why people suffer. That's why they suppress. That's why they use substances, because it gets so uncomfortable. They don't want to look at it. They don't have the tools. They don't have the consciousness to deal with it. But if you're willing to go all the way, if you're willing to put yourself in an environment to explore these beliefs, they will evaporate. They will disappear. And the more consciousness, the more energy there, the easier it is. So doing it on your own can sometimes be challenging, but doing it as a collective can be very easy, very fun, and very cathartic. And it's cathartic when you do it yourself as well. It just can take more effort, because to psychoanalyze yourself, so to speak, that can be challenging. So having a partner to help you with it is definitely recommended, particularly when you're starting something like this or going into deeper levels. So hopefully that makes sense to you. You get that distinction. You don't get more of the negative belief as you look at it, because you're not matching its frequency. You're simply observing it. What the frequency that you're matching is the one of exploration, the one of transformation, the one of using that negative belief for a positive purpose. That's the frequency you're matching. So despite the uncomfortable feelings you may have, it doesn't mean you're matching those frequencies. It means you're navigating through them, but not matching them. Key distinction. To really grasp this, to really accept this, to really embrace this, you need to learn from someone who's been doing it, who has experience with it. You need to learn in an environment that is open to this experience, because most people have it sealed off. They've sealed off their subconscious mind, and it's surrounded by a concrete wall, never to be penetrated. So that's very challenging to get through in that type of environment. If you have people in your life like that, it's very challenging for you to get in touch with your inner reality if that's the environment that you're swimming in energetically. So you explore. It's all that's necessary. The willingness to explore, the willingness to have those uncomfortable feelings, knowing that they will pass. This too shall pass. And as you do that, you go through the layers. And it may take some time to get to that deepest core belief, but you can definitely make progress. And when you finally do get in touch with it, it's like a eureka moment. A light bulb goes off and you simply recognize what I was believing is simply not true. That's the greatest liberty in the world. So take that to heart, implement it to the best of your ability. Come to the Phoenix Rising Masterclass on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time to explore this at a deeper, more experiential level. I love you. I appreciate you. I embrace you. Thank you for being part of my community, part of my network, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye for now.